Hi everyone, I'm Gerald Belton. I'm your instructor for Stat 412, Probability and Statistics, and I want to show you some things that you should be familiar with that will help you find your way around in this class. So let me share my screen, and this is the welcome screen. This is where you will, when you start the class, this is where you will be, and I want to show you a few things. First of all, up here in the top left, you should familiarize yourself with the contents of the syllabus. Come on, load for me. I suppose I should have loaded this before I started recording. Anyway, here's the syllabus. Probability and Statistics for Engineers and Scientists, that's our course. You're going to be using MyLabStat in Canvas. People have had problems before purchasing the ebook from other sources. In theory, it's possible to do that. Easiest thing to do is just buy it within Canvas here. You'll need a calculator, something like a TI-83 graphing calculator, and this suggested course materials. This is an ebook. It's there's a lot of information online about APA formatting for technical writing. This is our reference book. You don't really have to have a copy of the reference book. Catalog course description, finite sample spaces, conditional probability, Bayes' theorem. Hypothesis testing is probably the most useful thing in real life, but there's a lot of the mathematical stuff that goes into it. It has calculus as a prerequisite. So here's the goals and learning outcomes, and then here's how the grades work. Discussions are 15%, homework is 15%, quizzes are 15%. On the quizzes, it says show work. So in any mathematical course, and this one in particular, you can get a wrong answer and still be mostly right. So when you take a quiz that's computer graded, and the answer is supposed to be, let's say, 14.2, and you have 14.4, it's going to get marked wrong. But if I can see your work, and I can see that you followed the right steps, and maybe your calculator was set for a different kind of rounding than the course author's was, or for whatever reason, you had a negative where you should have had a positive. But I can see that you took the right steps, you did the right things, then I can give you at least partial credit. Sometimes I give you whole credit. So the show work is basically, you're going to, easiest thing is to do it on paper, right? You're working the problems with paper and pencil, and then either scan those, take pictures of them with your phone. There's lots of scanner apps for Android and for Apple phones now. So in some format, you're going to get me the work that you did and make it legible. And that's going to count for 15% of your grade. In most cases, it's not really graded separately. So if you have a 90 on the quiz, you're going to have a 90 for the show work. But questions that you missed on the quiz, I will look at in the show work and see if there's a way to increase the amount of credit that you got. So that's that. Then there's a midterm project and a final project that are each worth 20%. Discussions. There's more information in here about all of that stuff. And then there's a lot of other boring stuff, but I really recommend you read it all. You should be familiar with everything that's in here. Then the other thing I wanted to show you, though, because I think a lot of people miss this, it says instructor bio right here, and maybe you don't care about my bio. That's fine. I didn't always care about my instructor's bios, but this is mislabeled. Whoever designed this, and this is the same for all the courses here, but it's not really instructor bio. If you click on it, it's instructor contact information, bio, and policies. So the bio is the least important part of this, right? What's important is you have my email address, you have my cell phone number. Don't abuse my cell phone number. I'm a part-time employee of Embry-Riddle. I'm an adjunct instructor. So just if you really need me, if you're about to be deployed and you need to get a message to me that says, hey, I'm about to be deployed, can I get permission to take the next 2 modules late, then leave me a voicemail. Or send me a text. You can send a text to this number. Or you can email me. So there's lots of ways to get in touch with me. And also you can reach out if you're stuck on something, right? No matter how many times I've read this in the text, I keep getting the wrong answer. Get in touch with me. And if I can either try to explain it in an email, or if necessary, we can jump on a Zoom call and work through it together. So that's it. Again, here's the bio. It's a little bit out of date. My day job is still with the North Carolina State Employee Health Plan as a business intelligence developer, which says I do a lot of database stuff, and I use tools to make the database stuff look pretty for the managers. I am still interested in gardening and blues. I sold my Miata recently. I'm 6'2", and I'm getting older, and it was just getting to be too hard for me to get in and out of that car. Now, here's the important stuff. Policies. Class participation. You really have to be an active participant in the class. You have to participate in the discussions. You need to do the assignments before the due date. So for the discussions, you have to post an initial response and reply to at least one of your classmates' responses. And a reply should not just be, hey, you did a great job, or I agree with what you wrote. The response should further clarify the topic and add some substance to the discussion. What I really love to see, although it seems to happen not as often as I would like, is for it to be a real discussion. One person posts his initial his initial answer to the discussion question, and then somebody else replies to it, and ask questions in your replies. Why did you do this way? And then hopefully the first person will come back and answer, well, I did it that way because of this. I would really like to see discussions that are real discussions. But you can get full credit for just posting your initial response to the questions and to classmates. 2 responses to classmates. Late work. The course is very fast-paced, and each week's material builds on the previous week. So if you're late, it's really easy to fall behind to the point where it's really hard to catch up. So stay on top of it. I strongly recommend, and I know I was an online student. I did my master's online, and I know I had a full-time job. I was taking online courses. I was helping my wife with the housework. It was hard for me to get online every day. I totally understand that. I would do a couple of nights. I would do an hour or 2 of work, and then I would work my butt off on Saturday to catch up. If at all possible, don't do that. Because it's just, like I said, it's too easy to fall behind and to the point where it's hard to catch up. Or where at the last minute you're rushing to get all that stuff in, but you're not doing your best work. I know I wasn't. So homework is due by the end of the module, So Module 4 homework is due by the end of Module 4. And late work gets downgraded 10% every day until it's 5 days past the deadline, and then a score of 0 is entered. That's policy. So again, if you can do it on time, if you can do it on time and get 100, that's a lot better than turning it in a day late and getting a 90. So try to keep up. Then discussion boards are an exception to the above policy. Posts made after the last day of a module will not be graded. It's a discussion, right? And the analogy that I have used before is to say, it's like we have class from 8 to 9 p.m. in room 12. And you walk into room 12 at 9:30 p.m. after everybody's left and make a statement. That's not a discussion, right? Nobody else is there. After the last day of a module, I can pretty much promise you nobody's going to go back. I mean, I will, because I'll get a notification that something was posted. But your classmates are not going to go back the day after the module is over to see if anybody has posted new stuff. They're just not, and I wouldn't expect them to. They've moved on to the next module. And then the other exception to the late work policy, no assignments will be graded after the last class day. So that's, the class ends on whatever day it ends, and nothing can be turned after that. Exception for that is an incomplete final grade. So if there's some reason you have some work that you cannot turn in before the final day, and it has to be a good reason, a medical emergency, or unexpected military duty, you need to contact me as soon as you are aware of the situation and request a course extension. We will create a timetable for when you expect to complete those assignments, and your grade will show up as an incomplete until that work is turned in. And be aware, I have to submit final grades to the registrar within 30 days from the end of the course. So, if you're going to be unable to get on the internet for 2 months, then that's just it's out of my hands. I think there's places you can appeal to. Grading response time, I try to grade work within a week after you turn it in. Usually I'm much faster than that. And then there's some information here about academic integrity. You can read all that. I have not had issues with plagiarism in this course when I've taught it before. It's just, we're all mature adults here. We all understand what's required. So that's it. That's where to get help. Oh, another place you can get help, discussions. Under the discussions tab, this online office, you can ask questions in here. I get an email. See the subscribed box with the check mark. I'm subscribed, so if you post anything here, I will get an email saying, hey, somebody posted in the online office, and I'll know to go check it. And I strongly urge you to do that. Of course, you can always email me with a question. But if you post it here, chances are, if you have a question, somebody else has the same question. So if you post it here, everybody can benefit from it. The other thing, you should check this section every now and then. You should look at other people's questions. It's possible you could have done something that's gotten you an incorrect answer, and somebody else has asked a question, and you read the question and go, oh, wait, I need to go back and change that answer because it was wrong. So check this periodically, and also if you see a question that you can answer, please do. I may come back. I will come back in and say, hey, that's a great answer, or I may make some adjustments to the answer. Don't be embarrassed if you ask a question in here. There are no stupid questions. And then office hours. I'm an adjunct instructor. I have a full-time job outside of Embry-Riddle, but I do get notifications on my cell phone when there's an email or a text message, and I'm very quick to respond, but I don't have specific office hours. And then the policies we talked about before. And the other thing in discussions, and this is, in my opinion, far underutilized, the student lounge. This is just a place for you guys to check in. Actually, I don't know why I'm subscribed there. I shouldn't be. So this is a place for you to get to know each other, exchange emails, exchange phone numbers, converse much like you would if we were in an actual classroom. I might check in now and then, but I'm not monitoring this. This is for the students. And I know you've got a lot of work to do in this class and very little time for socializing within the class. But hey, it's there. Use it if you will. So that's what I needed to tell you about getting along in this class. Again, if you have any questions, you know how to find me, and enjoy the course.